Mike. I work at KB Depot. I've been there, it'll be 10 years, November 1st. I was on the BX41 bus, and I work very early in the morning. So passengers were getting upset because the bus wasn't going as fast as they would have liked. It was spring break, and they kept harassing me verbally on the bus to hurry up and move the bus, things like that. So I got the dispatchers to come on the bus and talk to the people that were in the back of the bus because they kept harassing me. As I traveled along my route, one guy comes up to me when I finally get almost to the end of my line and got mad because I stopped for a red light. And he said, most people don't stop at a red light. Why am I the only bus driver that stopped at a red light? So before he walked away, he started talking about how he was going to shoot that MF. He was cursing. And I didn't know who he was talking about. And he was talking about the dispatcher that had come on the bus to talk to him. And he said, if I don't move this bus, I'm going to punch you in your face. So I was like, wow, this man just threatened me. So I got on the phone and I called them, which is East New York when you call up, and I asked them to send me a policeman and get the dispatcher when I get to 233rd because that's going to be my last stop because now I've been harassed all the way uptown. As I got to 233rd Street, that man walks from the back of the bus up to me and he pulled a box cutter out to my throat and said he was going to cut me with it if I don't move this bus. And he said, and when your boss comes over here, if he tell you not to move the bus, I'm going to stab him in the throat. So, he's on the bottom of the step, and the dispatcher comes over to me, and I didn't know what to say. He said, what do you want, Mike? What do you have to call me Mike? I just said, I don't know. I don't want anything. So the man said, you're going to move the bus? I said, sure, I'm going to move the bus. So he took just 2 steps away. I was so scared, I ran off the bus, ran up the hill, jumped on another person's bus, and told him to close the door. And I just was crying. I was just through after that. They never caught him. The superintendents came out, no police, the man got away, came back to work that next Thursday, which was April 19th, 2001. It wasn't even 6 o'clock in the morning yet. That guy must be a regular guy on the bus that I was on the week before. He obviously missed his bus. I didn't notice him at first because I was reading the newspaper, but I heard someone ask me what time does my bus leave, and I went to tell him what time my bus left. And then I heard him say, oh, you're the same bitch from last week. And that's when I turned my head to look at him, and he had a gun pointed at me. So I just slammed on the accelerator and drove the bus, was on the phone screaming and crying to my boss. Anyway, it was so bad, I had to go to the hospital that day, Lincoln Hospital, saw a psychiatrist, and I've been out ever since. So they had me go to a psychiatrist at Luke Roosevelt Hospital, with the IME doctors, independent medical doctors, and they examine you once a month to see whether you should still be out, what have you been doing, are you seeing a psychiatrist, blah, blah, blah. And their main concern is to just throw you back to work as soon as possible, which is what that Dr. Salza told me. She only can leave me out for a certain amount of time. Tracy told her I can only stay out for a certain amount of time, and she had to put me back to work, whether I'm well or not. I wasn't well. She put me back to work after I did what she told me to do. Got on the bus, finally, after almost 1 year, rode the bus one stop, she put me back to full work that day. And I had to have a medical dispute to dispute it because, no, I am not ready to go back. I'm not well. I cannot drive the passengers around. And all my doctors say it. I have 2 psychiatrists and a therapist say I cannot go back to driving. I finally got an independent doctor who, the one I picked, they did not let me see. They had me see someone else. I told them, no, I'm not going to see that one because that means I don't have a choice of a doctor. And they said, if you don't pick this doctor that we're giving you, you're going to have to wait longer. It's going to take too long for you to get back to work or get your money. So I just said, I'll just wait. So finally, they got me somebody else to see after about a month and a half. I went to see him. After about talking to him for about an hour, his report comes back with the agreement with my doctors that say I am not ready to come back to work. She should not be behind the bus right now. She needs to just stay in therapy, see her doctor, and take her medication. And finally, I had his appointment on, I believe it was June 27, 2002. So finally, after not getting paid from March 7th to April 27th, a week after April 27th, I finally got a paycheck, which is not all my money because I didn't get differential. They owed me approximately, let's say, $14,000. And it seems I don't think I got half of that yet. So I'm still waiting to get the rest of my money. And right now, I have another doctor, independent doctor to see, and I believe they sent me all the way down to the village to make an example of me for asking not to see the same Dr. Salazar who put me back to work. I don't, I don't think it's fair that I should see the same doctor every month that thinks I should not be out in the first place. So that means she would be saying I'm lying to her when I talk to her. So my appointment is for the 17th, and I see what happens and it starts from there.
Hands off the HBT! Hands off the HBT! That's what HBT! Hands off the HBT! With the TA. When I took their own EKG to my own personal cardiologist, I was told that he could not understand what doctor could say that I had heart problems. That their own EKG showed that I had a perfect heart with just a little slight increase in heart rate due to being a little nervous. And I was made to take a $3,000 test exam to show the TA that I was eligible for work. I had to take all kinds of heart MRIs. I had to take all kinds of nuclear radiation in my body just to show them that my veins were clear. And even then, after I went through all this process, when I went to get a reevaluation this year out of my 19A medical, I was told by the doctor that it seemed I had heart trouble just because I had applied myself to these exams.
And my name is Laverne Cherry Sarfo. Worked for TA 11 years. I'm out of Gun Hill Depot. On January the 24th, 2000, at approximately 9 o'clock p.m., a dispatcher entered my bus and basically pulled my bus forward without letting me know what he was doing. I stood up and I asked him who was he. He never acknowledged. Pulled the bus forward and I fell into the wheelchair seat in the rear of the bus. And I injured my knee and an elbow. And I was taken to Montefiore Hospital. I was later deemed by my doctor, an orthopedic doctor, that I had, after an MRI, after, 3-4 months of problems with the MAC Center of getting an MRI, that I had torn ligaments, damaged cartilage, and that I had to have an operation. I had the operation. After therapy, I tried to come back to work since October of last year. I was told from compensation doctors that I would have to see independent doctor, a consultant, because they felt that I wasn't ready to go back to work because my injuries were extensive. It took them 3-4 months to approve each thing I had done. From day one, I have lost my differential pay. I had to go file arbitration hearing for that, and I won, and I still haven't been paid. So all in all, it's been 2.5 years that I have not received money from Transit. I've been cut down from $400 a week to $142. I could not pay my bills. They did not care. I kept grieving about it because I had the letter showing that I had won the appeal for the money. They didn't do it. In essence, they still sent me to all these doctors, all these appointments I made. My doctor still told them that I can come back to full work. So they sent me to an independent doctor, away from the consultant. The independent doctor said I can go back to full work. So they got the consultant to write up another report, an amended report, saying that I was liable. I was a liability to Transit, myself and the public at large, if they allowed me to drive. Their doctor, the independent doctor, did not agree. He agreed with my doctor, I can go back full work. So they kept me out another 7 months. I had to file what they call a medical grievance in order to get back to work. I won the medical grievance. So they sent me to training, and they gave me a hard time and a hard way to go and sent me far away. I had to keep doing it over and over, the testing, until I complained to the union. Finally, I got to work the first day. Supposed to report at 6:20. When I came in, they told me that I am not on that run to sit upstairs and someone would talk to me. I sat upstairs until 4:45 when they told me that I was being charged with 30 days for insubordination for the accident that happened to me on January 24th, 2000. That I was insubordinate to the dispatcher who hurt me, who never said one word to me. And that I was being dismissed because I was injured on the job, which I found very disheartening. I was happy to be back at work. They asked me for my badge and my pass, and I've been fighting it ever since, calling the union, speaking to the lawyers, and been told that it was illegal for them to do that. You know, and along with, they keep showing me what their MAC center said as opposed to what my doctor said. And my doctor is a chief over the orthopedic hospital in Valhalla Medical Center, St. Agnes in White Plains, and Sound Shore in New Rochelle. Great credentials, big man, and he said I can go back to work. So I don't see how someone who doesn't have all these credentials can oppose his opinion.
Give me a real MD. Give me a real MD. Give me a real MD. Give me a real MD.
My name is John Moore. I've been with the Surface Line Division of Transit Buses for 15 years. On August 4th, 2000, I went to Kingwood Jewish Medical Center because I thought my pressure was off, get my pressure checked. At no time during my entire visit at the hospital did my blood pressure exceed 130/70. It's in my record. It would never happen to begin with. When I got out, before I got out, they did MRI, CAT scan, hologram, echocardiogram, and all tests came out negative. And they released me. I went to the Employees Health Service, and they have put me out of work ever since. The reason they said I had GIA, and I went to my doctor to verify that I was okay, and all the doctors have given me a clean bill of health. Only the MAC 5 is holding me out. I filed a brief with JP filed a brief for me on September 9, and from the grievance I went to step 1 hearing. From step 1 hearing, I'm supposed to be going to see another doctor whenever they send me a notification to go see him, and that's where we are now. It's just from one thing to the next thing to the next, and no matter what I do, how much proof I bring, it's never enough. I have lines from cardiologists, I have lines from internal medicine, I have lines from neurologists, all stating that I'm able to come back to work with no restrictions. I don't know the exact figures what I lost in dollars, but I lost a great amount of in money for work time, and I lost a great deal of money spending on doctors for doctor's lines and time. I lost a great deal of time, but worst of all, more than I lost the money or time, is that the feeling of being totally helpless, of knowing that no matter what you do, no matter who you turn to, no matter how much you try, no matter how many lines you bring, no matter what, it's not enough. And you can go over and over again. You can talk to 100 people. As a matter of fact, you can talk to anybody that wants to listen. Nobody listens. Nobody want to help you. Nobody even cares.
Give me